Did you see Shad's new AI art, by the way?
Yeah, bring it up.
Yeah,
Here,
I
let
wanted
me
to bring
find
that.
it.
We should bring that up.
Let me find it.
Shadiversity, the world famous Shad M Brooks, who hates us and loves Eric July.
And loves his dad's cock, apparently.
And is forever embarrassed that his brother is a true artist, unlike him.
Yeah.
Recently showed the world his latest AI creation.
Yeah.
Elaborating on the hundreds of hours he put into this retarded picture of his wife as an anime chick with a giant stupid sword. Oh, he hasn't blocked you on Twitter? Congratulations.
Nah,
he
probably
fucking
muted
hates me.
Everyone thinks like muting is better.
Can we read this, or do we want to read this?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, here's Shad talking about. First of all, we'll take a look at the picture there. As you can see, wow, incredible.
Little whore with a gigantic sword.
Yeah, and also the way her head's tilted, I'm like, I feel like she looks like she's gonna fall over. But after,
It's also like no one ever fucking does this. Like, it's just such an unnatural pose.
the angle's off. Well,
Why is her skirt flipping up?
because he's a fucking pervert. Everyone
He's so fucked.
The way
He's so
the way
fucked
he
up.
talks about women is like genuinely insane. He says, I like this character so much I want to do another image with her design. This is a good demonstration about artistic intent applied to AI-assisted art because I had it clear in my mind before I started. I knew exactly what I wanted. So he's basically bragging about his ability to think of an image, which every human being on Earth can do. We can all think of like, hey, what if Superman was like punching through a wall? We can all envision that. Except for you 5% of people who can't envision things in your heads.
Yeah.
So I guided generations from text to image. I wanted her holding the giant sword over her shoulder while blowing a kiss with her other hand, almost like she's teasing us because of how easy she's holding the massive sword.
Dude, you have massive problems with your sexuality.
Dude, here's the fucking... He always talks about the female form. I think he's trans, by the way. Shad is secretly trans. The way he talks about women's bodies is the way that, like...
I can't say the F slur. Everybody else fucking can, apparently. I'm the last guy on Earth that can't say the F slur.
Shad is like, the way he admires the female form and obsesses over it, I go, you're like,
bro, you have like
trans.
autogynophilia.
Yeah.
Like
You
it was
absolutely
invented
do.
for you.
Yes.
You are fucked.
You are
You can't not identify as having that, by the way. That's just like a thing they stuck onto it because they forgot. It was like the medieval times where, oh God, we forgot all these dysphorias that we're having. So we're just gonna call it trans. No, we had a thing for that.
He says, I wanted her to have a curved back, as we can see in the image, to push out
Like
her
she's
hips
getting fucked, bro.
and emphasize the feminine form. Okay, here's how a man...
This is my dad, a giant sword, and this is me shoving my ass out like I'm getting fucked.
Like a normal person would say, I wanted a hot chick with a big ass, with a big sword, and it's like kind of cool because
no one would want this,
tiny
though.
lady.
No,
Well,
like normal guy would want this.
Anyway, he makes a lot of noise about how hard it was to get the puckering of the lips because his AI program, again, he put in a ton of work to make this happen.
Yeah.
Dick,
What a fucking weirdo.
how do we get to my Twitter? Because I was very inspired by this.
Oh, you
I wanted
were?
to see. I wanted to see how many hundreds of hours it would take me to replicate
Here's
this. Let me see if I can find that. Now, Shad, it took him 100 hours.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I went into Bang, and I just kind of
It's
said,
better.
lady with blonde hair, fantasy illustration, blowing a kiss with her left hand and holding a giant sword.
Yeah.
And I want to say, I think it's just about as good, I want to say, as his beautiful labor of love. I mean, you know.
Why are all of his, like, whole body things?
Yeah, that's true. He can't, I don't think he can envision a figure from, like, the torso up. He has to do their whole body in the frame every time.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And then they end up in really awkward, weird poses.
Yeah.
And also, he's trans secretly, which is why he's upset.
Up, man.
Has he ever said, here's a cool sword guy? No, it's always pictures of women with, like, impossibly tiny bodies that he wants.
And they're yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like, Shad, the way Shad talks about the female form is not a guy being like, hey, aren't chicks hot? This guy being like, man, wouldn't it be cool if I was like a tiny little anime chick? You
Look,
know?
I have the power. I'm slicing this dinosaur in half. All right.
Yeah, what if I was, had a big sword and then like also like a bunch of other warriors were like so happy about how good I was at killing dragons that they all came in and raped my ass for 10 hours straight.
Yeah,
And you
that's
go,
cool.
Hold on, can we talk about that last part?
Yeah.
And he's already moved on to something else. So, what are you going to do?
I really hate that guy.
Yeah, he's fucking nuts. He's the perfect example of a guy who has limited talent, has like
None.
I mean, I don't know if making stupid fantasy swords and talking about them is. I don't even think he makes them. Just talking about swords.
That's
knows
what
a
he
lot
does on YouTube. He makes swords.
Yes. Well, no, he buys swords and then he
buys
talks.
swords.
He makes videos about like why nunchucks aren't actually as bad as you think, or like why the pole arm would have been an effective siege weapon. He's like one of these nerds who read a bunch of books about fantasy weaponry and took it way too seriously, but then thinks that makes him a great thinker and artist. And it's like, no, you're just a retard who autistically obsessed over fantasy
He's
weapons
so fixated
and
on
the
being
women's
an
clothing
artist.
that you wanted to wear. Those are
Yeah,
the two
that I
things you're
believe.
interested in.
Which is cool, but
Yeah.
all right, man.
It's all fascinating. Anyway, good Chad. Keep it up. You're a true artist.